Okay, welcome back. And our guest this time is Dr. Okpebanwo, US-based lawyer and political affairs analyst. And we don't have as much time as we'd like. So a fine morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Thank you very much for making the time for us. So we want to jump into it very, very quickly so that we can maximize all the time that we have. Well, as you know, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has reinstated Philip Shuaibu as the deputy governor of Edo State. He said that his removal was unconstitutional, and therefore null and void. And he also ruled that not only that, from the time when he was removed right up until the present, all his entitlements should be paid to him. For their part, the authorities in Edo State say that Mr. Mobayo Godwins remains the deputy governor in the sense that they are appealing this, and both them and both the executive and the legislature have appealed and sued for a stay of execution. So that's the situation that we have on our hands, Dr. Okpebanwo. The court ruling that totally out of order, the action of removing Philip Shuaibu, well, they say, stay of execution because we're going to appeal this. Give me your perspective as a political analyst.
Well, I think it just, the decision highlights the mess that Edo State has become in all this. But there are several troubling parts of this. First, I have to be honest, I've not seen the entire judgment itself to even see the reasoning of the judge. But I think it's very troubling because it appears that the judge is actually now putting himself in a position where he will make a decision whether there is gross misconduct or not, even though the constitution was clear. Whatever the assembly decides is gross misconduct, in his own opinion, is what it is. So we don't know what part of Section 188 they violated that is faulting, because everybody's reporting it, but nobody's really telling us exactly what subsection they violated by the judgment, because we haven't seen the full judgment. I think that's on one hand. On another hand, there's another troubling part, because the man, Shuaibu himself, has even left the party, which introduces a whole new area into all of this. And then number three, the issue of the government not honoring the judgment of the court immediately, especially when the court went further to issue consequential order to the IG to help him to reclaim his seat. But they are saying their deputy governor, the new one they just appointed, Omobayo, is going to remain on seat while they appeal. So it brings the question again, all this issue about does a judgment stay, does an appeal of a judgment act as an automatic stay, or does it not?
Indeed.
This thing can lead to, this thing can lead to chaos if a care is not taken. It's different if I understand, even the Supreme Court has really not been very clear, giving clear orders here. On one hand, in their own Section 24, so they said, an appeal does not automatically act as an automatic stay. Then in that same comment, in the ruling, I think it was this case of Omoumi or Muhammad or something, Muhammad and Olahum, they also said the fact that the section doesn't act as an automatic stay does not also mean that people should just go and be acting as if there is no stay. So there is no clarity. And in this case, I think because Justice Omotosho also gave a consequential order to the Inspector General to assist him to reclaim his seat. It goes a little bit further than just the judgment. But the state government is saying, no, we are appealing, meaning that we are not going to let the IG do his work in case the police come there. So okay. There could be a breakdown. So
thank you very much, Ope. Let me take Mazi Okorafor, who has called in quite early, relatively speaking. Good morning to you, Mazi. I see that you're very interested in this subject matter. Go right ahead.
The issue of Edo State now, the court said that I think there is need for our politicians to obey court orders. You see, what we are having to see that people at the top, they don't like to obey the government. They don't like to obey, but that is why our judiciary, when somebody goes to court, he says, that's why we have justice. we have judgment. The layman gets justice, the pauper gets. Now, I will advise the governor and people in Edo State, in as much as the court said, my brother, come back. Whether they are going to Supreme Court or they are not going to Supreme Court to fight it, to continue, they should obey the court order. So that we'll be waiting for whatever they will come back to. But the situation whereby they will go and hire our young boys and young girls not to what? Mass destruction issue, to protest this, protest that. It doesn't make sense. And that's why I call on our youth in Edo State. You have to be very careful. If somebody comes to use you as a political tool, as a weapon of mass destruction, and at the end of the day, you have no job, you have no food, you have not eaten, something like that. Maybe you're send you to school, they will come and hire you from school, you leave school and be better. The person is suffering because at the end of the day, they will not give you a job, they will not give you wife, you will not marry, you will suffering. So sit down and face your job. Allow the politicians to fight their political problem. So that you have to just you don't look. If you decide to get a guy on your head, well, the job is short. At the end of the day, the politician will just carry their private jet and leave Nigeria and take the time and say, hello, you, see that I'm suffering. So the youth in Edo State, don't allow anybody to use as the political word talks or anything or for mass destruction.
All right, then.
Good morning, Sayuri.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafor. So, Barrister Banwo, as you say, we don't know at the moment which provisions were infringed upon, as you know, Justice James Omotosho has said, of the Federal High Court. And lawyers, not just lawyers, members of the public want to know. Everybody is a constitutional lawyer at home. The Constitution doesn't cost that much. The Constitution doesn't cost that much. So a lot of people are able to access it and probably want to know, just for the sake of their own intellectual curiosity, when the learned judge, when he said that it's been set aside, he set aside the impeachment of Philip Shaibu as the deputy governor for, you know, the action being unconstitutional. People want to know how, where, why. So it's been something of a shocker, hasn't it? And well, I suppose.
I also think. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I also think that it's also a reflection on our reporters who are in court. Everybody, and I've been researching since yesterday, searching and searching. Everybody told us what the judge did, but they didn't give us his reason. I'm sure the judge must have explained it in court.
Yes.
But what kind of reporting that we're getting where we can't even get them to give us the rationale of the judge? Mm-hmm. So it's very troubling. And also, equally, the action of the Edo State government, I think, is also troubling. But I think that is a custom that we've had in Nigeria. Remember, when a governor is declared to have been removed, they all appeal until they get to the Supreme Court. Nobody moves out and nobody moves in.
That's right.
So maybe that's what they are using for him. But also Shuaibu himself, who is contesting this, he has even left the party. In any case.
Indeed, so, that's another complication right there. And meanwhile, the judge has ordered a restoration of his security detail as a deputy governor.
Exactly.
So if the man proceeds to his office now, surely he has the wherewithal to clear anybody out of the way because he's the legitimate deputy governor and he has the arms to bear it up.
I agree because, like I said, that consequential order is actually important, and I think that's why the Edo State government, maybe they should have honored the judgment, why they are even now seeking for a stay of execution, because what if police comes there and starts shooting people? He has already given authority to the IG to help him to reclaim his seat. So hopefully everybody will remain mature. They will file the motion for stay properly, and then maybe Omotosho will rule on it, and then everybody will calm down. It only has a few months to go anyway. So I just pray that will not be a breakdown of law and order in the state, and Supreme Court and powers that be, they really need to make this thing clear. The fact that when a judge gives judgment, what happens? Even pending the time you appeal, there should be, in my personal opinion, there should be a formal motion for stay of execution that is approved by the court or that is honored by the court before you can say the judgment is stayed. But in Nigeria, people say once you have filed the notice of appeal, then everything stays. But in this kind of case, where police is given authority to go execute, are they going to tell the IG that without any document from another court to say the IG should not act, that the IG will not do his work? A judge has already ordered for him to assist Shuaibu to take his seat back. So, but you are saying as the government, oh no, you are filing an appeal, so your Omobayo is going to remain the deputy governor until the court decides on appeal. So and that's a potential for breakdown of law and order.
And the Edo State House of Assembly yesterday appealed the judgment as it filed a stay of execution pending the appeal. Now, the way it goes on in the judiciary there, people who are not learned don't always understand it because it's plain. Mazio Korapor speaking earlier says, look, a decision has come down, a judgment has come down, so we need, as Democrats, under the rule of law, to obey the law. However, immediately you revert to that same law that some other judge should now say, hold on, you're not going yet. It's an application, and I don't know if it is going to be granted or not. Are you sometimes concerned with the way the Nigerian officers of temples of justice, how they use the law? One judge has said, 100%. This is my decision. Another, a bunch of people are now going to another court where they want another judge to say, nevertheless, just stay everything.
I think it's an abuse of court process for lawyers to even do that. All this forum shopping and getting alternative judges to be ruling on the same case, I think is despicable.
Yes.
It's not good for our profession. If they are going to file for stay of execution, they should go back to a Omotosho's court.
Yes.
That's the man that gave the ruling. Okay, so if you are going to file an appeal, you either ask for the stay of execution in the appeal court or before the judge that issued the order. I think it is a malpractice for you to then go to another judge for them to be staying the order of a judge of concurrent jurisdiction. I think it is a practice that the Nigerian Bar Association should really stamp down and start to discipline lawyers because it is not good for us. It has the potential of leading to breakdown of law and order.
It does.
There is nothing wrong in Edo State government going to Justice Omotosho's court and say we want a stay of this order. And in my own personal opinion, until the court has ruled on the motion for stay, Shuaibu should be allowed to take possession of his office.
Indeed.
That's what a court has ruled. The court has given the police.
Indeed. And as you know, the government in Edo State has ruled, they have declared, they can't rule, they have declared that Mr. Mobayo Godwins remains the deputy governor. I mean, that's a direct contradiction of the pronouncement that went earlier. But Mr. George,
100%.
Thank you for holding on, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Yori, for accepting me again. I didn't know you were going to discuss this topic. Uncle Yori, from what I know, good morning to Top, by the way.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
Uncle Yori, from what I know, Philip Shuaibu has not left the PDP. He only submitted part of his structures to support the candidate of the APC. He has not formally left the PDP as a member. And the accusation, what they took him to court for, what the State House of Assembly accused him of, was leaking official information. That's what they considered as gross misconduct. And I also know that the state government applied for a stay of execution and pronounced their own judgment. You know, the governor is known for impunity. They pronounced their own judgment that the deputy governor is not, the current deputy governor is not going anywhere, even when the court has not ruled on this stay of execution that they applied for. So he is known for that. That is how it is. But let's wait and see.
Indeed.
The governors are very powerful in this country. They believe they can do and undo and nothing will happen.
Well,
ordinarily, Shuaibu should have been on his feet this morning.
Exactly.
But that is not.
I agree.
And thank you very much, Mr. George. And Dr. Banwo, and the police have been dragged into this, is one way of looking at it, because he went ahead and made what you refer to as a consequential order that his security details should be restored to him as deputy governor. So how are the police authorities to look at that when they want to comply? They'll be restoring the security details of the deputy governor, who is not what the executive has pronounced, but is what the court has pronounced. So this is a problem.
I like the governor of Edo State. For me, he's a friend. But I think that government should obey a court order so that they don't lead to chaos. Because police is not going to listen to the governor and say the deputy governor remains there until the appeal is decided. They have to honor the court order once they are served with that, meaning they're going to restore his protective order, his protection, and then they're going to help him to take his seat. So when they take him to government house, is the governor going to resist them? Is the governor going to go past people on the road and say, police should not bring in the deputy governor here? That is an invitation to chaos. And I think the governor of Edo State should know better. Like I said, he's my friend. But I think we should do things in order. It still doesn't mean they won't do the appeal. And I also even, on the judgment itself, yes, I have my own reservations. I think the court is even going into where it's not supposed to go, at least until we see his reasoning. But regardless of his reasoning, he's the judge. That's why they say, my Lord. Right. When my Lord has ruled, then everybody has to obey until another court says otherwise. So he should honor the judgment of Justice Omotosho, let the man take his seat while they are, yes, it will be awkward, I get it, but it's a court order.
Okay, but
I don't know what the government is thinking.
But Dr. Banwo, talk to me a bit more about that aspect, because we know, lawyers tell us that the courts are not Father Christmas. They will not give what you did not ask for. So, what you were referring to there, that the court has, in your opinion, has gone into areas that were unexpected. How do you mean?
Well, the two areas personally, I think, because if you look at that provision of Section 188, there was no room for anybody to decide what is gross misconduct or not. It says whatever the State Assembly legislators consider to be gross misconduct. And for the Constitution to underscore it in that Section 188, it actually says they should vote without debate. Meaning they don't even have the people who are making the allegations, who have signed it, do not even have to debate it and explain why what he has done is a gross misconduct before they can send it for investigation. So it's a very strongly worded part of the Constitution. Will I word it like that? No. But that's what it is. It says whatever in their own opinion they consider to be gross misconduct. That's what it is. So, but Omotosho now is saying, again, I'm not sure that's what he's saying, because I've not read his full judgment, so I don't want to put words in his mouth. For all I know, maybe he's faulting the process, because after they make the allegation that is signed by 1/3, then within 7 days, it's supposed to be served on the person that they are about to remove. Then within 14 days after that, they are supposed to vote without debate. And once they vote, the vote has to be two-thirds. So everyone, that is a very involved process. So it could have been any one of those processes. While the court cannot challenge what is gross misconduct, the court can challenge whether they follow the procedure. So maybe that is where they are. So when you look at that provision of Section 188, it's very involved, like I said, from 7 days to 14 days.
Yes.
Then they have to constitute a committee. Then the committee have to debate, and then the committee have to vote, and he has to come back to them, and 2/3 of the people have to vote again. So there are like 4 votes in that whole process. So any one of those steps could have misstepped. I don't know. If that's what the judge is saying, then it's okay. It is what it is. But if the judge is saying the ground for impeachment does not amount to gross misconduct, then I think the court will be going outside its own authority. The Constitution does not give anybody power to tell the state legislators what is gross misconduct or what is not gross misconduct.
Okay.
But they have about 6 or 7 steps they must take. If they miss any of that, then it's unconstitutional. Okay. So we don't know which one it is.
Indeed.
Until we see the full ruling.
Well, Dr. Okpebholo, that's a fine place to sort of leave it. As you said, we'll wait and see. There will be more clarity in the following hours and perhaps days, because there needs to be so. But I want to thank you once more for making the time for us this morning. And as I was pointing out, you actually had to go on night vigil in order to be able to coincide with our normal morning time.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much, as always.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, sir.
All right, then.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Okpebanwo, US-based lawyer and political affairs analyst.